Morning everybody, Phil Henry here from Capricornia Chamber of Commerce. As we've been foreshadowing for the last couple of weeks, we're going to be doing interviews with the candidates for the forthcoming state election for the seats of Rockhampton and Keppel. We've reached out to the candidates, and those interviews that we'll be posting are from those candidates who have got back to us and agreed to do the interview. Each of those candidates will have been given their questions a day in advance. There are 6 questions and they get 2 minutes to answer, and we'll be giving them a little bit of a nod as they're coming to the end of their time. They'll also get a minute at the end just to do a wrap up if they want to do. So without further ado, on to the candidates. Hi everybody, this afternoon we've got Wade Rothery, who's the One Nation candidate for the seat of Keppel with us. G'day Wade.
G'day, how's it going?
Good, thank you. So you ready to answer a few questions?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Good stuff, okay. First one, it's become traditional for parties to announce what they're going to do in their first 100 days in office. What's your priorities for the first 100 days?
So first 100 days, like I look at the first couple of weeks. The first couple of weeks I'm going to be really pushing to get some answers from the government on why we've had a couple of elections and we've had heaps of promises and nothing delivered. So that's going to be, I'm talking about Great Keppel Island, we're talking about Rockhampton Yeppoon Road. I just want to know why it's taken nearly a decade for all these promises and still nothing, and then this is the third election and again we're just getting more promises. But past that, I'm going to really focus on Great Keppel Island. This is a major tourism boost for the area that we've been waiting for, nearly up to a decade now. We've got a Queensland company that grew up here locally that they want to invest in the island. They want to get it up. This infrastructure is going to create 6,500 jobs for this area. And over a 12-year period, it's going to have 1,500 full-time jobs. So I can see the necessity of this. And One Nation's, we're going to deliver $100 million to that, which is power and water and a break wall. And that's not just a fake promise. We're going to guarantee that. We've worked out how we can do it. It's not going to cost taxpayers. We're going to be able to do it and deliver it.
Okay, a bit of a longer question here, Wade, so I'll read it out in full if that's all right. As identified by Chamber of Commerce and Industry Queensland and the Capricornia Chamber, a business-friendly environment's a key prerequisite for a healthy small business economy. One major concern for regional businesses is the number of institutional barriers in place that prevent local businesses from being given fair and equitable access to major projects. Many government departments have both published regulations but of more concern opaque and discretionary internal processes that act as barriers. Given the big number of construction and infrastructure projects in this region, what would you do to fix the situation?
Yeah, this is a really good question, and it's really I'm really passionate about this one because I want to keep the money in Keppel and in Central Queensland in general. It was only in February this year I sponsored a race meet at the Yeppoon races, and I got talking to a couple of guys there who were electricians, and I was talking where they're from, and they were from actually Gold Coast. And I said, "Oh, what are you up here?" "Oh, we got the tender for the prison." And it's like, and it got me thinking, why are we promoting this huge infrastructure, which is good and it's needed, but why aren't we focusing on the getting tenders from this area? And so it's something that I'm really going to push forward. If I get in, I'm going to help the local community get tenders out there. Yeah, and the cost of these tenders too is phenomenal. Some of these businesses have to pay $50,000 to $100,000 just for a government tender, and we don't have that. A lot of the business here don't have it. So I want to be able to help out somehow these local businesses to get these tenders. We've got the rehab centre going ahead, and I don't want to just stop at government as well. I want to really, if we're going to get Great Keppel Island going, we want the Ozarki's to kick in again. These big corporates, we want to make sure they employ local as well. So it's not just government, but that is a big issue, and I'm going to really push to keep locals, but also the corporate as well.
Okay, thanks Wade. Talking about infrastructure, what are your infrastructure priorities for the region?
Yeah, well, I've got 3 really big areas that I really want to focus on. Number 1 obviously is Great Keppel Island, and I've spoken to that previously about what I want to do to Great Keppel Island. and to get the ground infrastructure ready. You know, I'm not going to put a band-aid on it. I'm going to get what's needed, and like I said, a state government, a state-owned family to operate it. The second one is Yeppoon Rockhampton Road. You know, we've been promised that for quite a while now. There's a big sign on the way here saying, from the local member saying she spent $20 million on it, and everyone knows that nothing's been done to it for her 6 years in term anyway. So I want to make sure, and I want to start at the Quarrel turnoff. There's been fatalities, there's been severe major accidents there, so I already know what I want to do. And the third one is at Emu Park High School. You know, our goal is to start from 2022, a year 7 and 8 class, and then every year on that progress up a grade. So, you know, in another 6 years, you're going to have a full high school there, because Keppel's only got one state high school in the whole of its electorate, you know, and it just shows that the growth in this area is double what Queensland growth is. So we know the numbers are going to keep growing. And I don't want to wait 5 or 6 years for a high school and go, oh, we've got nothing ready for these kids. You know, we want to be proactive and we want to get the high school done. There's a couple of other little ones that I want to really focus on. You know, we need another all-tide boat ramp on the coast. Roads in general. The main thing is, from people around town, is the quality of the roads around here. So, you know, there are a couple of other ones, but the big three is the high school, the Rockhampton Yeppoon Road, and Grey Keppel Island.
Okay, Wade, next question. Availability of sufficient affordable baseload power while reducing net emissions from energy sources is a key component of economic sustainability. What's your view of this objective and how would you achieve it?
Yeah, well, I'm an underground coal miner, so I've been in the mining industry for 12 years, so I know how hard the guys work out there, and they support their family. But outside of that, I still know that the state of Queensland and Australia in general needs coal. You know, it's the base load. Solar, wind, it just doesn't have the base load that's necessary. And you've got areas like, you know, state of South Australia. They've got 50 generators just to back up for if they have a blackout, because they don't have the base load power. So my big thing here is, and I pushed this at the last federal election when I ran for Capricornia, is that we want to build a low emission coal-fired power station at Collinsville. You know, the state needs this, and I don't want to, you know, you across the world, they're building 900 power stations a year, you know, not one in Australia. You know, they're happy to buy our coal and use our coal, but, you know, we're happy to sell it to them, but we're not happy to sell it, use it. And that's costing everyday energy users, because the electricity costs are through the roof, and we just can't keep going down that road.
Okay, thanks, Wade. The next one's about basically skills. It's become apparent in recent years that the education and skills system, particularly apprenticeships, hasn't kept up with the needs of business and industry. So what would you do to rectify the situation here?
Mate, One Nation have been really proactive on this, and I know at the last state election, Pauline and One Nation have pushed the apprenticeship scheme. That was our vision, and the government took that on board, and that was for the first year. Apprenticeships are paid 75% of their wage, second year 50%, third year 25%. And they had $60 million, I think it was, go towards that, and it was just over 1,600 jobs. And that had been filled up within 2 weeks. And it was that popular that they duplicated it just 6 months later, and again, it was only a matter of weeks before it was full again. So One Nation are really big on keeping apprenticeships local, and we want to employ a lot of juniors around the area and get them into jobs, you know. The third one is, the other one is, we want to get back the TAFE and agricultural colleges. You know, Rockhampton is a big capital of Australia. You know, agriculture is huge in this area, and to cut costs, the Labor government has slashed our agriculture colleges. You know, it's just not good enough. We've got many communities out west that really need these and thrive on them, and just to get thrown away because of the cost cutting, it's not good enough. And, you know, I got to give credit to CQ University for taking on the TAFE, because that's another thing that the state government's trying to get rid of is TAFE, and at least the CQ Uni has noticed that and they know there's a need for it. So bring back more apprenticeship schemes, bring back agricultural college, and bring back TAFE.
Okay, well, this is the last question of these set ones. Particularly since the onset of COVID-19, but also reflecting changes in the global marketplace, businesses need to better understand the digital world, but also have access to stable, high-speed internet. So what are your policies to help local businesses understand e-commerce better and have access to that high-speed internet?
Yeah, well, there's two sections to this one, and the first one I've been really vocal on in the area, and that's the telephone and internet black spots. You know, you can travel from Rockhampton to Yeppoon to Byfield, Yeppoon to Emu Park, and you're always going to get a black spot. And it's just not good enough with, you know, in 2020 to have these black spots. The second one is businesses. You know, we need to train these businesses up on their websites. You know, I saw a stat just the other day, and it's 1 in 10 Queensland businesses don't have a website that actually has the ability to buy and sell. You know, so it's making sure that businesses, particularly in Yeppoon, Rockhampton and Central Queensland in general, have the knowledge and the capability of being able to compete with the Southeast Queensland, compete with international and interstate companies in buying and selling their product.
Right away, thanks for answering those questions. Now we'd like to give you a minute to wrap up what your main claims are for election this year, please.
Yeah, well, I think over the last couple of months I've really proven what I can do already, and I'm just a candidate. You know, I've had Headlow Airstrip contact me because the state government wasn't helping them fix their airstrip, which was caused by the last fires, and to the point where they wouldn't have been able to be reused if there was another episode like it was last fires. So, you know, I pushed really hard to get her help, and she rang me and thanked me because it's all getting fixed. And then the other one, I've had the marinas contact me and businesses there. I'm talking about the marine tourism rebate of $20,000 for, and it was only for Whitsundays to Port Douglas. I pushed really hard to get that moved south, which a week later, the state government moved it down to Gladstone. So I was able to help those area businesses out as well. And I'm just a candidate. So could you imagine what I could do if I was an MP?